Hi everyone, it's Aga from EurocaCrystalBeads.com and I'm here with another fun beading tutorial for you. Before I get started, just a quick reminder to check out the rest of our channel, and if you like what you see, hit that subscribe button and the notification bell so you always know when we're posting new content. In today's video, we're going to be making the Stormwave bracelet. That's it. Here is one that I made in a different colorway, and today we're going to be making it in these colors. So when it comes to beads, to make the bracelet, you're going to need some bar beads, some SuperDuo beads, some Chinese rondelles that are 3 per 2 millimeters, I think, and some Toho beads. Here I have Toho round 15-0 and Toho round 11-0, as well as some Toho demi round in black, and that's 11-0. That's it when it comes to the beads, and as for the tools and other supplies, you're going to need some thread, and I will be using Fireline 4LB, but 6LB will be great as well. And I do recommend adjusting the color of your thread to the SuperDuos and especially to the bar beads, because that's where we're going to be making the turns, and the thread is going to be kind of visible in between the hole, so we don't want it to kind of stand out too much. We don't want too much contrast. In addition to that, you're going to need a needle, obviously. Here I have size 12 needle, but size 11 or even 10 I think will be fine, depending on whether your 15-0s will take it. But everything should be okay if you use at size 12 needle or size 11. You're going to need a clasp for your bracelet, and here I have this cute, tiny actually magnetic clasp that is very, very strong. And I'm not going to be using any jump rings to connect it, only beads, because I want it to be as close to my bracelet as possible, because maybe we won't be able to make it seamless, but we want to make it as close, we want to make the two ends as close to one another as possible. So here's the magnetic clasp. You're also going to need a bead stopper, but that's not mandatory. You can just use any other regular bead and just go through it twice or thrice to block the thread so that it doesn't go through all of the beads as you start. And some scissors to cut off the thread when I'm done. That's it when it comes to the supplies, so let's start. Alright, now I put about a wingspan of thread on my needle. That's a lot of thread. And I put a bead stopper on here, and I'm not cutting off the tail because if I need more thread, it will be easy to just use the thread that we have at the end here instead of just adding new one and making a lot more knots. So I'm using a full wingspan of thread, and we're going to try to finish this in one thread. We'll see how it goes. Now I will be preparing a pattern for this bracelet so that you can all see a little bit more clearly what I mean. But for now, let me just try to explain to you what we're going to be doing. So the first thing is we're going to be doing this kind of wave with the bar beads and the SuperDuo. So the bar beads and the SuperDuos, and then we're going to go back all the way around and add the rondelle beads over here. So this is one where you have to trust the process, and it's only gonna look this pretty when we finish. We're going to start from kind of a middle of a wave. So we're going to be doing just half of this sort of wave here, because when I add the clasp later on around over here, this will make the bracelet a little bit more seamless, and the both sides will kind of just meet halfway. So I'm going to start from like the middle of the wave, and what you're going to do is you're going to pick up one bar bead, one 15-0, another bar bead, another 15-0, and another bar bead. So we have 3 bar beads and 2 15-0s. I'm going to slide them all the way down my thread like this, And now I'm going to step up to the other hole of that last bar bead and put my needle and my thread all the way through. And I'm going to add one demi-round, one SuperDuo, and do check the holes on them to hold beads just to make sure that you won't have to just go back all the way after you find out that one of the holes is plugged. So here everything's okay. And I'm going to be adding one demi-round, one SuperDuo, one demi-round in between each of these bar beads. There, and this is sort of how we made like half of the wave here. As I said, trust the process, it's all gonna come together in the end. What I'm going to do now is I'm gonna go right back through that other hole of the bar beads and through the 15-ohs. And now I'm going to start making another like a part of the wave, like a half circle over here. But if you notice, this is going to be the wide part of the wave of the half circle, sort of. So it's this part here. It's not the inner part. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to be adding one demi-round, one SuperDuo, one demi-round, and then a bar bead, because we don't have any yet here in the bottom. So, and then another demi-round, SuperDuo, demi-round, bar bead. And I'm going to do this 5 times so that I have like a half circle, like this. Let me show you. Actually, it turns out I lied. You want to do this 4 times. So you're going to have 5 bar beads in a semicircle in total, but this one little guy is kind of the first one in the semicircle that we're gonna get. So this is the sequence that you wanna have on your thread, which is 4 times SuperDuo, 4 times bar bead. Now we're going to go back around this last bar bead over here, and we're going to be going through the second hole of all the bar beads, adding one 15-oh in between them, which will actually make the SuperDuos kind of turn around the other way. And as you go, you want to kind of make sure that it's all nice and tight, because it will want to get a little bit loose, but you want to get it tight so that it keeps the shape. And with that fourth 15-oh, you're going to be going through that bar bead from the previous kind of sequence. There, and we've made a full half circle, well, half a wave, just like that. And what I'm gonna do now is I'm gonna go all the way around and through that sequence that we just added, through the kind of outer hole of the bar beads and through the SuperDuos. And I'm going to go through all of those to come out right here. Alright, now this is where I want to be. And now I want to make another bit of the wave that's going to be going right like this. But as you'll notice, when I'm coming out of this hole, I'm going to be making kind of the inner circle of that wave, inner half circle, to be precise. So like this bit, right? So what I need to get on my thread now, 4 15-0s and 4 bar beads. Remember to check the hole, and you start with a 15-0 so that you end up coming out of a bar bead. This is going to be our wave here. So now I'm going through the other hole of the bar bead. And I like to hold it this way so that it doesn't get loose immediately. And now I'm just going to be adding the SuperDuo sequences. So 1 demi-round, 1 SuperDuo, 1 demi-round, and through the free hole of the bar bead. Alright, and make sure that you end up coming out of the bar bead that was less in the previous sequence. So just like this. This is what we got. And now I'm going to be coming right back around through these bar beads and 15-0s. Now again, that's going to be the time when we add another sequence, but using the outer kind of semicircle. So I'm starting with a demi-round, a SuperDuo, and a demi-round, bar bead, and 4 times that. Now back through that free hole of the bar bead. And I'm going to be connecting them with a single 15-0 in between. Now right back around through this bar bead, all the way through this outer kind of semicircle here. Alright, and this is what you do until you've reached the desired length of your bracelet. And I would recommend just doing it for as long as you need it to be, because there's not going to be like a big margin as we're going to be adding the clasp. It's just going to connect the two ends almost like one next to the other, so you can even do it a little bit longer than you want it, and that should fit you well then. So again, in here I will just add a 15-0 bar bead, 15-0 bar bead, 15-0 bar bead, 15-0 bar bead 4 times. I'm going to go around adding demi-round, SuperDuo demi-round in between the other 3 holes of the bar beads. I'm going to come back in here. I'm going to come all the way around that inner kind of semicircle here. And then I'll be adding another and another and another. And this is how this wave kind of comes to be. And I'll come back to you when it's time to go around and start adding the Chinese rondelles. Okay, so this is the length that I made so far, and I just wanted to note one more thing. When you measure it as you make it, you will notice it's a little bit like a slinky or like a caterpillar, so it can be wider and more narrow. And what you want to do is to put it closer together, because it's not going to be as loose, it's going to be a little bit more tight with the rondelles inside as well. So you rather want to measure it like this, closer together, rather than like this. Alright? Now, I started the bracelet with like a half the wave or a quarter circle over here, so I didn't do the full 5, just like here. It's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Here I did just 3. So on the other end, I want to do the same, but the other way, so that when they meet, I'm going to do like a half here. So I'm going to add 3 bar beads over here, so that where they meet, it's going to be like 2 opposite sides over there. So what I will do now, this is the side where I should be adding SuperDuos and bar beads and not 15os and bar beads. So I'm going to start with the demi-round, SuperDuo, demi-round, bar bead, another sequence with a SuperDuo and another bar bead. So just 2 of them, because the third one is sort of over here already. And I just do as usual, only with 2 and not 4 bar beads. So I'm turning around and I'm going to add 15os in between these 3 bar beads over here. Pull tight, and I'll come right back through that side with the SuperDuos. So this is what I have. These are the 2 opposite sides. Now, this is a time when we're going to make this all work and add the Chinese rondelle beads. So what I do here is I pick up a demi-round, an 11o, a rondelle, and another 11o, like this. And I'm gonna go through this hole in this SuperDuo, this free hole that I haven't been through yet. And this is what I got. What I'm going to be doing now is basically adding 1 11o, 1 rondelle, 1 11o in between the SuperDuos, and a single rondelle in between these SuperDuos here. So whenever I am in the middle of a wave, I just add a rondelle in between the SuperDuos, like so, and it's going to kind of connect them over here and close the whole thing up on this side. So now we're only going to be covering one side of this wave, so only like the left side in this case. And we'll see if the thread will allow us to go the other way as well, or if we'll have to add the thread as we reach the other end. So again, 11o, a rondelle, 11o, through the SuperDuo, 11o, rondelle, 11o, and just so on. And a single rondelle in the middle of the wave. Now this side is done. Remember to pull tight, because as you can see, this will just go apart at this point if you don't pull tight on it. Okay, so I've reached this point where I've run out of SuperDuos to go through, and also maybe I would have enough thread to finish this bracelet, but maybe not. And what if you want to make a longer bracelet, or if you want to use a shorter piece of thread? What if you run out? So this is what I'm going to show you now. When you reach this place, this is a perfect spot to swap the thread that you're using for the one that you have here that you didn't cut off from the spool. So what I do now when I'm here coming out of this SuperDuo, I'm going to pick up an 11-0 and a single rondelle, and I'm going to go sort of back over here through this second bar bead here, over like this. I'm going to pull tight, and I'm going to make the first knot right over here to finish this running thread that I have on my needle now. I'm gonna go through the loop that I've created, push it down and through that next loop. And there's my knot. But I really want it to be nice and tight, so I'm just gonna go around. And again, see how this knot is hidden in between the beads. So I'm going to go through the other hole in that SuperDuo now, and through that last 11-0, and rondelle again, and again through the bar bead, maybe again through that 15-0, and this is when I'll make a second knot. And I'll just go through several more beads to hide the knot and the tail. Just like that. I can cut this end off now. And my bead stopper is already gone. So this is where my tail thread is kind of coming out of. I'm gonna cut off maybe less than a wingspan. This is what you're going to need. Alright, so my thread is coming out of here, and now I'm going to add the magnetic clasp, or half of it actually. So what I do is I pick up one 11-0, then add on my clasp, then 3 more 11-0s, and now I'm going to make a circle and go through this 11-0 in here as well as this rondelle. Like that. Now I'm going to go through that bar bead over here, and again through all of the beads that hold on to the clasp. And I'll go through them one more time, so 3 times in total, to make sure that everything is nice and secure. Alright, now at this point I'm coming out of this rondelle here, and what I want to do is I want to go here and come back around here to be able to add the rondelles on the other side of my bracelet. So what I do is I actually go through this bar bead over here, the second one kind of from the beginning of the bracelet, and I turn around and go through its second hole as well as that sequence with the SuperDuo until I'm right here. And that's how I get here. Now what I'll do is I'll add a demi-round, an 11-0, a rondelle, and another 11-0. And I'll go right through that 3 hole in the SuperDuo, like that. And I just continue along the other side of my bracelet. I'm at the point again where I need to finish and add the second half of the clasp, so we're nearly done. All I need to do now is pick up one 11-0 and one rondelle bead, and again I'm gonna go through this bar bead here in order to add one 11-0, then my clasp, 3 more 11-0s, and around to this 11-0 over here. In the meantime, I'm gonna wanna make it a little bit tighter because I just finished that row and I need to make all of it tight enough. I'm gonna go through that bar bead and these 11-0s and the clasp again, and then one more time, so 3 times in total, so that everything is nice and secure. Alright, the only thing left to do is finish my thread, and I'm gonna do this by going in this direction. The first knot here. And why don't I just go through several more beads, make a second knot to ensure that everything is nice and tight and secure. And I'll just go through several beads over here to hide the tail. And this is the final bracelet. I hope you liked this tutorial, and I can't wait to see what colors you will make your Stormwave bracelet in, because we have all of these beads that I've shown you today in so many different colors at eurekaCrystalBeads.com. So you can just make one in your favorite colors and send us a picture via email or on our Facebook or in our Facebook group. All of those will be linked down below. Thank you so much for watching and see you in the next one. Bye!